Hey guys, it's me, Rainbow Sassafras, and I'm looking pretty crazy right now, aren't I? Well, the reason for that is because this is going to be my very first tutorial. This is my very first makeup tutorial. Um, and as you can see, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make yourself appear like Morticia Addams from the Addams Family. Now this makeup look is leaning more toward the Angelica Houston Morticia, the Morticia from the 90s films. So that's kind of where I was inspired from. Um, as you can see, this will be your finished product when you're all done. And I'll show you guys how to recreate this, so let's get started. Hey guys, so the first step you want to start out with is, of course, putting all your hair back out of your face. That way you don't mix it in with any of your makeup and get it all gross and messy. And so right now I'm just using a little headband to hold back my bangs. And then always, 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 before applying any sort of makeup or anything, I always clean my face with one of these cleaning pads. These ones are like maximum strength, heavy duty, and I use these because I have some pretty bad acne. But they're like deep pore cleaning, heavy duty, really acidic. So if you're like sensitive to acidic type cleaning wipes, you definitely shouldn't use these. Use something a little more suited to your skin. But for me, I need all the help I can get, so I definitely use the heavy duty, heavy strength, maximum power face wipes. And you just scrub it in all of your pores, and especially in the places where you get a lot of blemishes. Ew, look at all those oils and nasty stuff. That's gross. I don't know why I find that fascinating, but I do. I find, like, looking at the wipes and stuff after you clean your face fascinating. It's weird to know that all that was on your face. So like I said, these wipes are really acidic, so I always like to wait until my skin dries to do anything else. So your next step after you wash your face is to put on foundation. Now Morticia is a very, very pale woman. So you're obviously going to want to try and make yourself look paler through your foundation and face powder and everything. But me, being an already very pale person, I don't really need to do anything special or different with my liquid foundation. I'm just using the liquid foundation I usually use, which is this CoverGirl Oil Control Foundation. It's number 510 in Classic Ivory, and it matches my skin tone pretty well. It's pretty pale. But if you've got a slightly darker skin tone, then you're going to want to use a liquid foundation that's at least a shade or two lighter than your actual skin. Don't use anything too light, because then you're going to end up looking like a clown, and that's not really what we want to go for. We just want you to look a little bit paler than usual. So just a few shades lighter than your actual skin tone. But for me, I'm just using my usual liquid foundation. And to apply that, I'm just using my e.l.f. foundation brush. Pretty cheap drugstore stuff. And with liquid foundation, I usually like to start from the center of my face and work my way out. And then once I'm done applying it with my foundation brush, I like to lightly blend it in and kind of melt it into my skin with my fingers, just to make sure it's nice and blended and everything is nice and smooth and even. So the next step is your powder, and for this I'm just going to use a white face powder, not transparent or any of that. And just a little bit, ooh, it's a little more than expected. And for applying, I'm just using my e.l.f. fluffy full face brush. And the powder that I'm using is very, very fine. And I'm just dusting this along my neck and jawline as well, just to make sure that it's blended and I don't look like a clown. Now, I might be using just plain white face powder, but that's, like I said, because I'm already very pale. I'll dust a little bit on my ears as well. So yeah, I'm already very pale, so this white face powder isn't really a big a deal for someone like me. But if you have a darker skin tone, you probably want to use a slightly darker face powder. So that way you don't end up looking like a clown, like I said. I like to dust just a little tiny pinch on my hands, and then once again kind of blend it in everywhere. Make sure it's even. There's no big clumps or anything like that. Alright, now if you're doing this for like Halloween or a costume party or a convention or anything like that, you're going to want to put on the liquid foundation and whatever powder you use on any area that's going to be exposed by your costume. So that includes, your chest, your hands, anywhere that's not going to be covered by your costume needs to be covered with pale makeup, or else, it just looks fake and weird. But for this tutorial right now, I'm just satisfied with my neck up. I'm not going to do any other. So next step is contouring. And for that, I'm going to drop everything. I'm going to use my bronzer brush from e.l.f. as a lot of my brushes are from e.l.f. They're nice and cheap and they're good quality. And I'm actually going to be using eyeshadow for contouring, and I'm going to be using this gray color. Oop, the brush is in the way. This gray silvery color from this little LA Colors palette of like black to white. I'm going to be using the silvery colors in the middle for my contouring. And the first thing I'm going to contour is my cheekbones. Morticia has very, very high, prominent cheekbones that stand out a lot. So I'm going to recreate that by adding a lot of contouring under my cheekbones. And then I'm going to use my big fluffy brush from before that I used to powder to blend it out and make sure it's not too harsh. Right now I'm just sort of making sure that both sides are even. I think this one might be a teensy bit darker, so we're going to apply a bit more to the other side. So notice how now my cheekbones look a lot more prominent and they stand out a bit more. So next on my list of things to contour is my temples. Just going to add a little bit of shadow just on the outer corner of my eyebrow, like right along here. And I'm going to connect that with the shadow on my cheekbone. So kind of add a bit of shadow just on the very edge of my face and kind of curl it in like so, wrap it around. And add a little, continue it on just a little bit into my hairline. Now the final thing that I'm going, well, not quite the final thing, but the next thing I'm going to contour is my jawline. Like all of her features, Morticia's jaw is very sharp. And I'm connecting that once again with the contouring in my cheek and sort of wrapping it around my jaw like a little curlicue effect. Blending it with my fluffy brush again. All of my features look a bit sharper, all except for my nose. That's the final thing I'm going to contour. And using those silver colors from before, I'm just using my fingers to pinch my bronzer brush to make it a little bit slimmer. And I'm just running a little line of this shadow all along the edge of my nose. And into my brow bone in the inner corner of my eye. See how that made my nose look a bit slimmer and more pointed? Now that contouring is finished, I can move on to eyeshadow, which is one of the funnest parts of this look. So like I said before, I'm going for more of a Angelica Houston Morticia look. And Angelica Houston's Morticia makeup design, ow, can't get comfortable, has this like really neat smoky eye effect when it comes to eyeshadow. So taking the same silver colors I used to contour with, I'm taking this thin, flat eyeshadow brush. I'm actually not sure what brand this is or anything like that. It doesn't say. It came in like a kit that I got for Christmas, but just any slim eyeshadow brush you have will do. And what I'm going to do with this silver eyeshadow is put it just above the crease in my eye. Not directly in it, just above it. And I'm just going to pack that in right above my crease and connect it to the inner corner of my eye and kind of make like a curlicue shape and wrap it around to the inner corner and into that contouring of the nose and just a straight up line across my eyelid for now. We're going to darken it up and feather it out and blend it and everything later. But for now we're just making a nice guideline. And then fan it out. Make it thickest at the outer corner of your eye and fade inward, getting thinner and thinner as you go. Like so. And then what you're going to do is darken it up by taking this black color right here on the same palette and then just kind of intensifying your smoky eye look by lightly patting the black on over the silver. Now, usually, you wouldn't usually make a smoky eye this intense, because it looks a little dramatic, right? But the fun thing about this look is dramatic is what we're going for. Morticia's makeup style is incredibly dramatic. So it's okay to go a little crazy. Me, I like to have fun, so I'm going really dramatic and bold. But if you don't want to go quite as dramatic and bold as me, no big deal. Just build up the intensity to where you want it. Now I'm blending with my finger a little bit. I'm going to clean off my eyeshadow brush, clean off all those dark colors, and then taking the white eyeshadow, I barely have any of this left, but take a white eyeshadow and mix it with the lightest silver on the palette, and you're going to use that to highlight your brow bone. So we're going to put it right along the brow bone, right here. And then also, using the same white and silver color, you're also going to put that on directly on your lid in kind of like the empty space that you didn't cover up with your smoky eye. So that's the finished eye. And in here. Oh, wow, that's looking pretty cool. Now taking just the white eyeshadow, you're going to run that on your bottom lash line. And once again, this kind of opens up your eyes and makes them pop. And then taking your finger and that same white eyeshadow, you're just going to pop just a pinch of that in the inner corner of your eye, and that really brightens up your eyes and makes them pop and look really cool. Now I'm going to do the other eye, and I'll see you in a second. Hey guys, so here I am with both eyeshadows finished. And while I was away, I also intensified my first smoky eye a little bit more with the matte black eyeshadow right here on the very end of the palette. And I also used that matte black to intensify some of my contouring just a tad bit more while I was away. And so the next step is eyeliner, and for that I'm using this waterproof Wet n Wild liquid eyeliner in black. And this is probably one of my favorite liquid eyeliners that I've used so far. It's great quality eyeliner, and one of my favorite things about it is this applicator. It's a really cool applicator. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not a brush like most liquid eyeliners. It's not a sponge. It's like, it reminds me of the tip of a fine tipped marker, but like really, really fine. And so it's like, it's really cool, and it's really great for like accuracy, and it doesn't like go all over the place, and it's not messy. And what I'm going to do with that is just make a very, very thin line right on my lash line. And I'm going to carry this line all the way into my inner corner. And then I'm also taking it out from the outer corner and just giving it a tiny little tail, like a tiny little cat eye effect right on the outer corner. and carrying it onto my lower lash line just a bit. Okay, now I have both eyeliners finished and dried. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is define my eyebrows. Now, if I was going to put on an all-out Morticia costume, I would be putting on a black wig. And so, in order to make my eyebrows match the wig, I'm going to be defining it in black. If you're not putting on an all-out Morticia costume and you don't already have black hair, then you're not going to want to do this with black eyeshadow like I'm about to do. You'd want to do it with an eyebrow pencil or something else that matches your eye color. Or hair color. Eye color. And so, the way I'm doing it right now is I'm taking this itty-bitty, teeny-tiny bristled eyeshadow brush from that same kit as the other one that I was using, and the matte black eyeshadow on the very end of the palette that I was using to intensify my contouring and stuff. And I'm just going to define my eyebrows mostly at the top because she has very high arched eyebrows, and just very thin just very thin lines that start out thick right here in the inner corner of the eye and fade out. There are my defined eyebrows. Now that that's all finished, I can move on to lips. Well, actually, you know what? I think first I'll put on mascara. So that way my eyelashes don't look freakishly light anymore. Okay, we're almost done. We just have one final step, and that's the lips. And for that, I'm using this really, really vibrant, bright red lip gloss slash lip stain from Wet n Wild. And this is probably one of my favorite lip products right now. I'm pretty obsessed with Wet n Wild right now because they're really cheap, good quality makeup. Sorry about that. And this lip color is really neat because it applies like a lip gloss, but then after a while it solidifies into a lip stain, and this stuff stays on completely. It is so cool. I wore this all day one time and it hadn't faded in the slightest. And I'm not sure what number it is. It's 921A, and the color's called Red My Mind, like red the color, Red My Mind. Haha, wordplay. And see how bright, vibrant red this is? Morticia, she's very pale. She wears a lot of like black and gray, like eye makeup and contouring makeup, and her hair is black, and she wears a black dress all the time, and so she almost seems colorless completely. But she just has these two little pops of color. She wears bright red bright red nail polish, and then her lips are always in a bright, vibrant red, which I think is really cool because it kind of gives her this neat effect to where she's almost completely black and white, all except for her nails and her lips. And another one of my favorite things about this particular lip gloss slash lip stain is the applicator. Once again, we've got a really cool applicator from Wet n Wild. It's like your average, everyday, spongy lip gloss applicator, except look how like flat it is and how wide it is. So all you really have to do is just a quick swipe. And it's really good for shaping your lips too, because it's pretty precise. Okay, now here's the cool part. You ready? I just applied this, right? Like just now. Watch this. Nothing. Nothing on my finger whatsoever. That is how quickly, let's see, there we go, now you can see it. Nothing, no red on my finger at all. That is how quickly this stuff solidifies. And look, it's still there, still lasting. So that's really cool stuff. So here's the finished look. Finished product, all done. And so guys, that was my first makeup tutorial, my Morticia Adams makeup tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was informative. I hope you liked it. Post some comments telling me what you thought. Am I good at making tutorials? Am I not so good at making tutorials? If you think I'm good at making tutorials, I will definitely make more. And if you don't think I'm so good at making tutorials and you think I should just stick with my usual stuff, covers, reviews, and vlogs, no biggie. I'll stick with my usual stuff then. Not a problem. But I thought this was a fun new thing I could do and try, and it was fun. It was fun. And if you have any requests for future tutorials, go ahead and post those in the comments box below. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I will see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. And, yeah. Rate, comment, subscribe, and all that other good stuff. And if you don't, I have nothing witty to say. Bye.